friends, it's Fixie. I'm happy to have you here with me today. I am so excited for the gothtober readathon. I finally managed to say readathon correctly. Please leave a like to support me in my problems with the English language. Anyway, I thought it would be fun to draw all the covers of the books that I plan on reading. So maybe I have started the speed draw at this point, or maybe I will do that now. But yeah, let's roll the footage and start talking about the books I'm gonna read. Side note, if you don't know what Gothtober is, I will link to the announcement videos down below. But to put it briefly, it's a month-long readathon in October, and there are a number of prompts. Most are gothic fiction themed, and a few aren't. And you can read multiple books for... you can read one book for multiple prompts, if you so wish. And I have a TBR here of 8 books. Many of them are doubling up because my health is so irregular and unreliable. I just don't know what my energy levels are gonna look like. So this is my preliminary TBR that I think I will be able to do, but it's subject to change. What I'm hoping is obviously that I will get to read more, and I have a ton of other backups for pretty much every prompt. Anyway, let's get going. So I think let's do the order of how I drew them. So if we start from the top left, I have The Magicians by Grossman, and I have that for dark academia, and I think grey morality. I'm really not sure about grey morality. I'm kind of just hoping that grey morality will manifest in one of the books I read. Otherwise, I will have to look into that. But I think so. So all I know about The Magicians is that it takes place at a magic school and some fucked up shit happens. It was recommended to me a while ago from a friend when I mentioned Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, and I said, I don't know what else is like this book. I got so fucked up and I want more. And he said that he felt the same when he read The Magicians. So I probably have too high expectations, but we'll see. It's dark, it's at a school. The main character is apparently an asshole according to Goodreads reviews. So that's grey morality, right? And then we have a book I actually have physically run by Kody Keplinger. I wish I could remember where I heard about this. I know it was a YouTube video by someone, but I don't know who. So the reason I wanted to read this is that it was described as a young adult Thelma and Louise, essentially, and one of the characters is bisexual and another is legally blind. So this is my read for LGBT and disability representation. By the way, how I found a number of these when I looked for specific things was I found lists on Goodreads for example, for disability, and looked for books I had already previously marked as one to read. So that's how I realized that The Magicians could fit the dark academia prompt, because I was browsing dark academia and I saw that one of the books was checked as one to read, and it was that one. And the same goes for this one. So I decided to splurge and buy it. I had a little extra money because of a commission, so I treated myself. Don't at me. next one is The Yellow Wallpaper by Charlotte Perkins Gilman. And if I understand it correctly, this woman is trapped in a room with yellow wallpaper by her husband, and it's my understanding that the husband lies to her and manipulates her. It's really short. The audiobook is like 45 minutes, and it's also named as a classic within Gothic. So I wanted to read it, and I'm gonna count it as the lies prompt. If it turns out to be no lies at all, I will atone for my sins and read something else. But yeah, that's my plan. And then I'm really excited to read this one, The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor Lavalle. It's described as reclaiming, an anti-racist reclaiming of the Cthulhu mythos. So Cthulhu is obviously the tentacle monster that H.P. Lovecraft invented, and Lovecraft was a big racist asshole. So, and I know there's another book called Lovecraft Country that I have on my radar that I really want to read as well. That's also like challenging Lovecraft's racism and claiming horror for people of color. And I think that's really, really awesome and interesting. And because I wanted to read this, I actually went and read one of Lovecraft's short stories, because I had never read anything by him. I wasn't super interested, but because of this book and also some of the contemporary authors that I like sometimes cite Lovecraft as an influence, and I read The Call of Cthulhu, and don't read it. It was so racist. I knew going in that I had to be prepared for that, but I still wasn't prepared, so I would strongly suggest staying away from that. But I wanted to read it in case that helped me appreciate the subversion of Cthulhu more, which I don't know if it's going to, and I don't know if it will be worth it. I guess I will let you know when I have read Black Tom. But I don't think for most people it will be worth it. I'm a big literary history nerd, and appreciated the historical interest of sort of knowing what the fuck that's about. But it wasn't a good time, I can say. The next book is a Halloween classic, The Halloween Tree by Bradbury. I have actually read this before, but I'm really excited to own it physically. So this has bones on the cover and undead characters. So those are the two prompts for this one. And there's illustrations in this that I wanna show. Then I have, with a bit of a stretch, I think this is red on the cover, on the title there, and The Icarus Girl by Helen Oyeyemi is one of the books I have owned for the longest without reading, because I have this weird thing about my favorite authors and the ones that are, I have to own everything they have ever written, that kind of author, that I sort of put off reading the stuff by them that I haven't read, because I anticipate it so much that it's hard to actually start reading. And I don't know if it's that I'm scared that I'll get disappointed, or if it's that I want to keep having it to sort of look forward to. But it's a thing, but it's been like I think at least 3 years at this point that I've owned this and not read it. And it ends now. I'm gonna read it. It's gonna happen. What's it about? I actually don't know what it's about. Oh, The Independent called it a sharply chilling mystical story. I'm excited to get into it. Then we have Burial Rites by Hannah Kent. This takes place on Iceland, so this is what I chose for foreign country, but to be honest, any of these are foreign country to me because none of them take place in Sweden. But I still wanted to get outside of the US and the UK because I have a tendency to read a lot of books that take place there, and that's something I am working on expanding. But yeah, it takes place on Iceland in 1829. It's about a girl who is convicted of murder. Maybe she's a murderer, maybe she isn't. The Swedish title translated is actually A Murderess Among Us. So we'll see. I find it really interesting to read about female killers. I don't know what that says about me and I don't want to know, so don't comment down below. This is a book I've had on my want to read for many years, but I only recently found it, and I'm excited to give it a go. And the last book I have is by an indigenous author, so that's for that prompt. Elatsoe by Darcie Little Badger is about a girl called Elatsoe. So I know this young girl, there's something mysterious about the death of someone she knew and she's investigating it. She has a supportive family and there's magic, there's vampires and werewolves and things. And it just seemed really good and I wanted to read it. So I'm gonna read it. It's on its way. Hopefully it gets here before October is over. There's also a prompt to watch a vampire movie or an episode of a vampire TV show, and I haven't decided yet what I want to watch. Maybe one of the old Hammer horror vampire movies. I watched the first Horror of Dracula one recently and it was good fun. Just take them for what they are and it's a good time. But also I could just rewatch Buffy because I love Buffy. I watched all of Buffy many times. I just love her. Anyway, let me know if you're gonna participate in Gothtober and if you've read any of these books and what you're gonna read, and just talk to me about all the spooky things, please. I'm so excited. And I will see you next time. Thank you for hanging out with me. Extra big thank you to my patrons. And I will see you next time. Bye.